Coach Mulvey, Villanova baseball head coach, with Hunter Schryver, current Chicago White Sox farmhand.
Chicago White Sox.
And ex-Villanova pitcher. Thanks for coming in, Hunter. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was great to have you back. I just wanted to, ask you how pro ball's treating you. Pick your brain a little bit on everything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been a really wild journey. Just the whole going from the draft process, which is, crazy in and of itself, but then finally breaking into pro ball, having a good, year and a half, and then first full season, trade deadline comes around and my name gets called. So probably the weirdest day of my life when I got told I was traded to the White Sox. But it's been really good. I think I'm in a really good organization, in a really good place in my career. So hopefully just keep that progress going and we can someday move on up to where we want to get.
And how would you say Villanova has prepared you for life after Villanova?
Yeah.
Not just in baseball, but academically and life in general. How do you think Villanova has prepared you?
It was great. I came here for, obviously Division I baseball, but also the academic side. So I always kind of joke around that, my life in professional baseball, like kind of playing with house money right now. I was fortunate enough to get my degree from here, in a really good major from a really good school. And so I have that, in my back pocket. So obviously I want the dream to come true. I want to play in the major league someday and make a career out of that, be able to live off of that. But the odds of that aren't too high. So having that to fall back on kind of takes a little bit of the pressure away, I would say, just because some people don't have that luxury and it's baseball or nothing. Like after baseball, there's not much left. So in that sense, it's prepared me a lot. And then obviously dealing with the major I was in, mechanical engineering, like having to manage time and learn how to, focus on baseball, but at the same time, devote time and energy to a really hard major.
At Villanova, you were a starting pitcher, one of the best starting pitchers to ever come here.
Yeah, thank you.
And then you went to pro ball, and now all of a sudden,
no starting pitcher.
You're a reliever.
Yep.
So run me through that transition, right? What that was like for you.
Yeah.
Learning how to do that on a daily basis, learning how to do that from an arm standpoint, focus standpoint, and then kind of give me some advice for someone else that might be going through that, because eventually somebody's going to go through that. Chances are, there's probably about 10% of all pitchers stay starters throughout their whole career.
It's definitely tougher. I would say, going into it, I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. Obviously, I'd started here and things were great. And so going into it, being a little naive, I was like, oh, I can throw, 7 innings every single start. Why can't I go out and throw 2 or 3, twice a week? And I kind of approached it with that same starter's mentality, and it just wasn't clicking. I couldn't figure it out at first. It just wasn't working. I would get through my first inning clean, and then second time, third time, it just couldn't do it. And so just talking to people that, had gone through it for a year or two already, trying to pick their brains a little, just the approach to hitters and, your workload you're throwing before the game, all that stuff is totally different. You're a reliever, you're coming out and you're maybe seeing a guy once, if you're maybe twice, as a stretch. And you throw 1 or 2 innings, you got to be ready in 2 days to throw again. What
kind of advice do you have for, a young pitcher in high school that has aspirations of pitching in college and then eventually, becoming a professional baseball player?
Yeah, from high school to college, I always tell this, it's easy. Get your grades up. Step one, if your grades are great, it makes it so much easier to open doors. You might not be the better baseball player, but if you're just a little step below somebody and your grades are easier and theirs are terrible, the school might still pull some strings and get that guy in there, but it's going to reduce a lot of headaches from their standpoint if your grades are good. And obviously I got into Villanova because my grades were good. Never really thought I would be at a school like this, but just having that in my corner, I also had the baseball stuff going for me, but it made it so much simpler because my grades were good.
That's great advice. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.